Hello, third graders. Today I am going to show you how we're going to do our picture by fraction art. So, this is based on a story or based on the author Ed Emberley, and there he is. And he creates all these magical art pieces using fingerprints and using shapes, and he has all these different types of books, drawing books that show you how to create art with just simple things. So, the book that we're going to actually focus on today is called Picture Pie, and there's a cover of it. And what he does is he takes circles and he cuts them apart into fractional pieces and creates these magnificent pieces of work. So you can see there's a peacock and then there's birds and flowers. And all of these pictures, there's a fox, are created from cutting a circle apart in fractional pieces. So he uses like a fourth of a circle, half of a circle. Sometimes he uses a whole circle. And so these are just some images from his actual book. I love the fox and the dogs. And there's a fish. So, see, he created all the scales using fourths of a circle. And so what you're going to do is here's an example is you're going to take fractional pieces of a circle. We're going to do it digitally and you're going to take them and create artwork. So there was a flower, here's a crab, so you can see that his claws are almost whole circles with a fourth missing. Here's the peacock one, and it's using different fractional pieces. You can add in eyes and legs and little accents like that if you want. See, like on this butterfly, I added the antenna and I added circles. That's fine with me. Um, but you're going to use the circle pieces, the fractional pieces to create your picture. So here is the peacock again, and we're also going to do some writing at the bottom. So you can see the writing right there at the bottom. And this one, the writing is about the fox. So now I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Okay, third graders. So when you open up your project in Google Classroom, this is what will open up in Google Slides. And you can see that there are three different color blue backgrounds. You can use whichever background you'd like, and you can delete the other two. Or if you want to make more than one picture, just keep them up there, and that's fine too. But you're only required to make one. So I am going to show you how to create one, and then we will learn how to fill in this slide to help us with our writing. So I'm going to create a bird. And so you can see that you have whole circles, half circles, you have quarter circles, one fourth of a circle, and then you have 1/8 of a circle. So these are all the pieces that you're going to use to create your image. You can just create one thing, or you can create a whole background with all these things. And now there's only one of each color. However, if you want more, you just duplicate it. So I'm going to create a red bird. So I'm going to grab this red half circle and I'm going to drag it onto my workspace. Now, you're not going to resize any of the circles, but you can move them around. So I'm going to use this little blue dot to turn this one on its side. So that's going to be like the body of my bird. Okay. So now I'm going to make kind of the top. So I'm going to grab this red quarter circle and put it right there. So I lined them right up. You can layer things though too if you want. Now I need a tail feather. So I want to use the same quarter red circle, but I don't have more than one. So I'm going to duplicate it. Then I can drag it out here and then I can use that little blue dot to move it around and layer it. And move it just a little bit more. And there's my, oops, tail feather. Okay. Now I want to make a beak. So I'm going to grab this orange eighth of a circle and I will grab the beak and layer it like so. Now, if I wanted the beak to be in the back, I can right click and I can say order, send to the back, and then see now my beak is behind. I think I will add one maybe wing over on the side. I'm gonna take that and flip it around. And I just wanna make it a different color so you can see it. But so there's my red bird. If I wanna add maybe an eye, I can insert a shape, and I'll go for a circle, and maybe I'll put, like, an eye right there, and I can use the paint to fill it. Okay. Oh, perfect. And then maybe I want some legs. So maybe I'm just gonna use some little lines. So maybe some black lines. Now, right now, that's pretty skinny, but if I wanna change the weight of the line, I can come up right there is where I went. Okay, maybe I'll add one more. So I just duplicated that. Now, if I wanna push them up like that, then I can click on one and send it to the back. So it's layered behind the bird. Okay, so my bird is pretty much done. If I wanted to, I could add a sun, I could add some clouds, I could maybe bring some of these down and add in some grass if I wanted, but you don't have to. It is entirely up to you how much detail you want to add. But see how I could add some of those maybe for some grass. If I had more time, I would definitely add like maybe the sun and some clouds just because I want to make it more interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to jump to this other piece. Okay, and for this one, you are going to add in a few things. So I'm going to type my name, and then if it needs to, you can make it longer like that. I created a bird. And then how many eighth pieces did I use? So I'm going to come back here and look at my picture. And I used 1, 2. So I used 2/8. Okay, so I'm going to add 2. How many fourths? Let's go back and look. 1, 2. That's it. So 2/4. Now let's see how many halves I used. Well, I used 1 for the body, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I'm going to count the grass as well. And then how many holes I used? Whole circles. I did not use any whole circles. So I'm going to add a 0. Then you're going to add up all those pieces and see how many whole circles you have. Well, I know that 2 halves make a whole. So just right there, I have 3 um I have 3 circles. So probably the easiest way to do this is to take your pieces that you have and kind of imagine how many circles you have. So I have 1 circle there, I have 2 circles there. Okay, I have between the red, I have a whole circle, 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then these 2 pieces make a fourth. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 3/4 of a circle. So 3 and 3/4 of a circle. Nope, sorry, not 1/4. 3/4. Okay. Another thing you can do is you can take all the pieces that you used and kind of add them up together on the sides. Okay, so you can, and then see how many circles you created. So there's a few different ways to do that. This part is a little bit more tricky. This is the part I really want you to focus on. If this part at the bottom is just a little bit too hard, you can either skip it or maybe ask an adult or a sibling if they're around to help you out. But for the most part, just make sure you have this top part, okay? Now I'm ready to do the writing. So I'm gonna go back here and I already inserted a text. I inserted a text box for you, but I'd like you to make the text box a different color than the background. So I'm gonna make mine yellow and I'd like you to add a border around it. So you can choose, that 8 looks kind of nice, right? I'm gonna bring this to the front. So it's gonna sit over, okay? And then we're going to type here, and you can change the font if you want, but you can start with, I created a red bird. I used, let's see, 2/8. I used, we'll come back here, 2/8 of a circle. I used, how many halves did we use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used 6 halves of a circle. You know what? I think I'm going to create a list. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to say, to create my bird, I used, now I'm going to go back here. So I used 2/8 and 2/4. I used 2/8, let's use the number words because it's less than 10. So I used 2/8, 2/4, space there, comma, let's see, 6 halves and 6 halves. Okay. All together, I use, so you'll add the sentence if you figure it out, 3 3/4 whole circles. I used 3 3/4 whole circles to create my bird. Okay, so you're doing some math explanations on what you did. And you can make the font a little bit bigger if you want to fill it in. I'm going to center it. Okay, and that is going to then match your work. Don't forget to put your name up here because we don't want it to say type name. Okay, and then you could print this out, hang it up somewhere. We're going to post some on Instagram. So go ahead and have fun with this. It's going to take you a while to kind of trial and error to figure out what you want to create. You can Google Ed Emberley Picture Pie and look at the images, and there's lots of examples of things that you could kind of use for inspiration. And don't forget to turn it in. All right, have fun with this.